Hey gang, it's T for the Backstage Pass team, and I'm here to talk to you today about the BackDrop 1.6.0 update, which brings us timelines. There's a lot of stuff in these patch notes. I suggest you go checking them out on the BackDrop wiki in the video description if you want to see all of the fine details, but I'll go over the top level notes, which is there's been some improvements to the wiki editor and just the editors in general, but as you can see here, you can now easily drag around your categories. You can drag around your articles in the order they show up in your categories. And then the most important thing is we've made the UI a little bit more modular. Everybody has different screen sizes. I have a gigantic screen and forget that some people have very tiny screens. So what we've done is we've made it to where you can adjust and grab the different components here on the editor, and it should persist, but you can resize things as you need now, so that it's a little bit less of a nightmare on smaller screens. We've also made it to where things sync individually to Discord now. So you turn on sync to Discord with forum threads enabled, you enable Discord publishing. I was looking there. I meant to be looking there. And then every article will then have to be published on Discord individually. Now, when you do save article and sync the Discord and all that stuff, this was an easier workflow for servers who don't want every article to publish to server, or only want some to publish to server. You can select and then publish to Discord, remove from Discord, unpublish, the same things you could do before. We've tuned this menu a little bit. But most importantly, today we are releasing timelines, which is something that I feel like a lot of servers always kind of ask for, which is like a chronological way to see all of the events that have happened in your world, right? Like sometimes servers have deep and intense storytelling and lore, and sometimes you just want to track the things that have happened in roleplay. So there's a few ways you could do this, and I'm going to show you. This is the timeline for the Feywild server that I run. And this is all just events that have happened, prehistorically to the start of the server. And I wanted to date and create all of these. I could start from newest to oldest. Like here, our story starts here, and then rewinding back from there, year one before the fall, and then it starts counting up again because that's how time works in this world. Very ACBC or ADBC. I don't remember what the new term is for it. But you can do this. You can add a little bit of info here. I didn't add any images here, but I could. And go to news, and then it embeds the image. And GIFs work, as you can see. It's limited to the same 8 GB cap that Discord images are, because they need to post to Discord. But this is like me inserting everything on my own. It's all one lane, but as you can see, there's different types of events, which you can see here in the editor. When you go to do new event, it works in the same way the wiki does, where you have your articles here. You can do your new event button, title it, publish status, kind of event. These are all customizable. The lanes, which I'll describe lanes in a second, and then when the date was. So exact, circa, undated. These just kind of change what they show up as. They're tagging inside of the timeline. Just more viewer indicators. In-world date, you can set according to whatever your world date is. For the Feywild, they have their own dating system, but for the supernatural New Orleans server, they use real-world dates. So you can set those to whatever they want. And as you can see at the top here, it does sync to your StageHand calendar. So it will bring in the new date or today's date automatically for the StageHand calendar. If you're like, I gotta pop in an event real quick, it will do that for you. And then you could set a range as well, which is useful for the Age of Chaos spans 200 years. And then that shows up here, year 1, year 2, or year 1 through year 200. Yeah, so that's how that works. And then if you want to write any body, but you can also just leave it as the thing. And then over here, you can rearrange the order of your... Specifically, you rearrange the order of ones that can take place on the same day. So if I wanted to swap those two... Oh, I broke it. LOL. They're supposed to swap. It'll be swapped before you see this video. But if you want to swap those two, because they take place in the same day or the same year, you can do that. I recommend everyone fill out at least the year. If you leave month and day blank, you can see they get excluded off of here. If you leave 0 blank, it does stay year 0 to still. But you can also do the undated to indicate that it's not a real date. So the other option is pulling from StageHand. So this will pull in scenes from tracked muses through multi-muse based on a /scene_end command, much like how map pins work. So if you're already using map pins, this is really cool. And it will pull in, I don't have anything that has been backfilled here, but it can pull in events from your Discord /scene_end and automatically catalog them by scene name. So you can see these are all, let me just go to public view. Almost everything in the West Hollow timeline right now is based off of the dates in server, based off of the StageHand calendar. This is not the real date. We just started the scene today. It's just backdated. But you can see it off the StageHand and calendar of like, okay, this is this. And then if it's a scene and it pulls over automatically from Multimuse, it just links me to that thread, and I can go to that thread if I'm, checking it out. If I'm a member of the server and want to go read it. Obviously, you can't get to a server through a link unless you have an invite, so that works out. But you can see, like, you can just go through, you can see the things, and then this is what the lanes are for. So lanes have multiple tracks. You can also just set it up to be linear in your viewer, but this gives you multiple tracks. So if you have an A plot and a B plot and a C plot, or every single faction has a different plot going on, plus you have a main plot, you could delineate that here and spread it out, and it will show which scenes are part of which plots and all of that stuff. You do have to come in and manually assign lanes. This is not assigned automatically when you do /scene_end, but it's super customizable. So if you've had StageHand in your server up until this point for probably the last 2 weeks, it's already been cataloging and grabbing your /scene_ends even if you haven't been using timeline. So you might have some backfill scenes here. If you want to go to the scene route, you can capture at least a week or so of those while we've been building this and included that feature. But if not, you can just come in here and you do scene import. You can say auto import scenes when scenes close, because otherwise just end up in backfill. And then they're in draft mode by default. You can also publish scenes automatically imported, so that you can set those. And then you can set some defaults here, like what date precision, whether or not you do vague timing. So you can say circa if you're whatever the date is, or you can say this is definitely happened on July 2nd, year 2497. Or you can just have them undated and have your timeline be chaos. We love chaos. And then it pulls the era from StageHand as well. So if you want all of your role plays to happen in an era, like everything was pre-role play and then everything here now is role play, and then say you update your world later to after role play, and then your era will then get followed in to BackDrop via StageHand's calendar system, and all the new scenes that come in or all the new articles that come in will default to that new era. So that's how that works. And then you can set a default lane too if you want to hey, this is the lore that's written and this is all the roleplay lane. You can delineate that too. So I can say all things go into the main lane in this thing. There's only one lane in the Fae file. And then lastly, you can go sync this to Discord, just like with the wikis. We call it the Chronicle, and then you select a channel here, a forum, or a text post. I recommend whatever you want. It doesn't matter. You click sync timeline events to Discord, save Discord settings, and then sync Chronicle. And it should do it, and I can show you that. You can see that here. It posts right in our lore encyclopedia, and then it just does it as little embeds. This was the coolest, cleanest way I could do it. It delineates it by color, which again, the colors are customizable in the settings, and it just kind of goes through it and shows you all of the events. And it's just a nice, clean way to do it. But additionally, Oh, I don't think I can do it here. No, I have to go to a royal channel. Fun fact, you cannot do activities in threads. So if I do timeline inside the server, it will also launch you into an activity that launches you into the full viewer as well. So you have options. And then if you're wondering how to set all this up, we have styles and lanes right here. This is how you customize whatever the styles are, the event colors. If you want background to be like, you know, more of that color, and then ignore that. That won't be in there at launch. Today I learned that's a bug. Additionally, you can preset up your eras here. You can add an era, and then you can set up your lanes here as well, which is just this. And then you can set up public display default. So for the Feywild, I want it to be linear, and I want it to be chronological, which is oldest first, or you can also set it to be newest first. And that also affects Discord sync as well, and what order it posts down the channel. But that is pretty much it for this. Oh, and access. You can set access like you can with anything else in BackDrop, timeline builder. Oh, that's the thing I'm missing. With this update, we also brought you an overhaul of the dashboard. We have kind of expanded beyond what this product was originally intended to be, which was roleplay maps simulator. It now has wikis, timelines, and probably will have way more before the end of the year. So we had to redesign how we think about this. Sorry if it's dim. My HDR decided to bug out on this screen specifically. But we had to redesign how this works. So now your dashboard is listed by server, and instead of needing a map to create a wiki or create a timeline, you now can create worlds. So if I wanted to make a separate world for the Prythian Prophecies server, I can name this Hibern and create that. And then we have a second world, and I can add a separate map for Hibern. I can add a second wiki for Hibern. I can add a timeline. These are tied to your plans, which we have updated our plans to reflect that. So you get 1 for free per server, and then 5, and then 10. It basically keeps in line with the maps. We just had to lay it out for financial legal purposes, so you know exactly what you're getting. But basically, every time you build a world, you can start a new map, start a new wiki, start a new timeline, because it's all under new slug. And that just makes it a little bit cleaner. Like, you don't need a map for the BackDrop server. We don't have a map. We just have the wiki, which then has all of our patch notes here. You should go here. They're in the link in the video description. But that's the big overhaul to the dashboard. Let me know if you guys like this update. Let us know if you're encountering any bugs in the support server. Please hop by. Show us your maps. Show us the wikis you're building. I want to see the timelines. The more you guys hop in and tell us how you're using our products, the better of a job we could do at fixing things and making them better for you. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.